Who are you meant to be? It's one of those questions we often brush past because it feels too big, too abstract, or maybe even too uncomfortable. And yet it sits quietly beneath so many of our struggles. The tension we feel in our relationships, the dissatisfaction at work, the sense that something's missing, or that somehow we're not quite living the life we were meant to live. Are you who you think you are? Or are you just playing out the version of yourself that others expect you to be? That's the real question for me. And for many people, the lines get blurred very early in life. We're born with a sense of self that's open, curious, alive, but almost immediately we're shaped by the world around us. Parents, teachers, peers, culture, all telling us who we are or who we should be. And sometimes these messages are subtle, other times they're loud and persistent. And eventually we internalize them. We begin to believe that we are that shy child, that difficult teenager, that overly sensitive adult. But what if you're not? What if those are just roles you've learned to play, I guess to feel safe, accepted, or loved? What if the real you, the one beneath the labels and expectations, has been quietly waiting to be rediscovered? After all, you're not a fixed identity. You're not a set of labels. You are a dynamic, evolving human being. You are a unique and complex mixture of your beliefs, your values, your needs, even your unmet needs. You're shaped by your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your behaviors, all of which are deeply influenced by your core beliefs. And some of those beliefs might not even be yours. They might have been passed down to you, imprinted, assumed, absorbed before you ever had the chance to even question them. So who you are can look different depending on where you are, who you're with, and what's going on around you. You may act differently at work than you do with close friends. You might feel more open with one person and more guarded with another. None of this is inauthentic. It's simply part of being human. We are, after all, relational beings. Context matters. But the real question is, in all of those different versions of you, is there a through line? Is there a sense of self you recognize as distinctly your own, even as it adapts? The danger comes when we rely too much on what others think, when we begin to define ourselves based on the opinions of others. But here's the thing. What someone else thinks of you is just their opinion. It's shaped by their beliefs, their history, and their projections. It's not a reflection of your truth. I mean, if we ask 20 people who know you to describe you, we'd likely get 20 different answers. Not because you're inconsistent or unknowable, but because each person sees you through their own lens, which means no one version is definitive. And that also means you get to decide who you are, not them. So how do you do that? How do you begin to know who you really meant to be? And I think it starts with tuning in, with paying attention to what feels right for you, exploring your own values and beliefs, asking what matters most to you, not what should matter, listening to your own needs, beginning to recognize when you're acting out of alignment, when something doesn't sit well in your body, even if it looks fine from the outside. And this isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to yourself. It's about reclaiming the parts of you that got silenced or shaped to please others growing up. It's about noticing the beliefs you've inherited and asking, is this really mine? Is it still true? Is it even helpful? And it helps to talk about it with someone you trust. your therapist, a coach, a friend who listens without judging or advising. Because when we speak our thoughts out loud, we begin to hear ourselves more clearly. We notice patterns. We become aware of our inner connections. We get curious instead of critical, and that curiosity can open the door to profound change. Remember that your thoughts are not just floating words in your mind, they generate feelings. And those feelings shape your behaviors, and those behaviors create outcomes. So when you want to change the outcomes in your life, you have to start at the root with your beliefs, with the story you're telling yourself about who you believe you are. And this is the work, not fixing yourself, not becoming someone else, but coming home to yourself, testing your thoughts, validating your emotions, challenging the behaviors that no longer serve you, listening to the quiet voice inside that already knows, the one that's been whispering beneath the noise of other people's expectations. And of course, your history plays a part in this. We can't ignore it. Many of us were told who we were before we even had a chance to find out for ourselves. And those messages can leave a mark. But we're not stuck with them. We can change our narrative. We can make different choices. We can uncover the truth of who we are beneath the layers of who we were told to be. Now that journey is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Because on the other side of that discovery is a deeper peace, a clearer purpose, and a more honest relationship with yourself and the world around you. So if you're ready to begin that journey, if you're ready to explore who you're meant to be, I invite you to take the next step, whether that's through self-reflection, journaling, therapy, or coaching. Start where you are. Get curious, ask questions, and listen deeply, not to the world around you, but to you. And if you'd like support along the way, visit my website and book a free discovery call. Let's talk about what's possible when you step into the truth of who you really are.